Hey everyone, welcome to Wake Up Well. We continue this week to be thinking about the topic of Sabbath, the whole way that we can have a rhythm to our lives where we rest from work and where we come back into the presence and the purpose and the refreshment, rejuvenation of God's presence and purpose for us. And so today we're just going to think about a way that we should see Sabbath as a blessing, as a gift to us rather than as a kind of set of rules and legalism. And the example that we're going to think of is when Jesus was walking on a Sabbath day in Mark chapter 2 verse 23. It says this: one Sabbath day Jesus was walking through some grain fields. His disciples began breaking off heads of grain to eat. But the Pharisees said to Jesus, "Look, why are they breaking the law by harvesting grain on the Sabbath?" Then Jesus said to them, "Haven't you ever read in the scriptures what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He went into the house of God during the days when Abiathar was high priest, and he broke the law by eating the sacred loaves of bread that only the priests are allowed to eat, and he also gave some to his companions." Then Jesus said to them, "The Sabbath was made to meet the needs of people, and not people to meet the requirements of the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord, even over the Sabbath." All too quickly, humans love to create rules and regulations, don't we? The kind of right way that things should be done. It doesn't take very long. As we celebrate our 5th anniversary as a church this weekend at the Well, I need to be on the lookout that there aren't a whole set of things that we do just because we've always done them. It's really easy for us to slip into that kind of a behaviour. And on this occasion, this was a Sabbath day, and Jesus was out for a walk, and some of his guys took just heads of grain, so kind of picked off the top of a bit of grain and popped it in their mouth. They were probably just young adult men, and they'd been out with Jesus. It was probably hot, and they just wanted something to chew on, just something to do maybe, and something to sustain them on a hot day. But they were being followed by kind of really zealous, rules-minded followers of God called the Pharisees. And the Pharisees wanted to pick them up on breaking the rules, probably to make them feel a bit better about themselves. And the problem was this: the Pharisees themselves had not been able to actually fulfill, to keep all of the rules of the law of Moses. In fact, no human was able to do that. And instead, the Pharisees, the kind of religious leaders, had made up this whole complex set of rules and regulations, things you could do and couldn't do on the Sabbath. They built their own set of structures around a very simple thing that the Lord had once said. There were something like 39 different kind of don'ts on a Sabbath, and obviously harvesting was one of them. But and so they took it to the nth degree and said picking off a grain and having a chew is harvesting. And in essence, what they were doing as religious leaders is they were making themselves Lord of the Sabbath. They're saying, well, I'm telling you how to keep these rules, how to please God, how to follow his ways, and therefore Lord over the people as well. And then they come across God in the flesh, Jesus, the Messiah, walking those same fields, the Creator, the one who threw life into the universe, the one who calls the grain forth, who sends the rain, and the one who invented the Sabbath. And he's just very clear with them. He's like, you know what, guys, I'm the Lord of the Sabbath. I don't need to follow your rules. And so he tries to get to the essence of it instead. Jesus came so that we might rest from labouring to make our own salvation by our own works. We might actually stop trying to do that. We can take a rest from trying to win God's favour by the things that you and I try and do. That's exactly why Jesus came. It's an act of grace. By his death on a cross, he makes a way so that actually we find favour with God, and we can rest. We can rest in God's mercy and God's grace, that he would ever consider that you and I can be family with him. Now, I know that keeping the Sabbath, I think, is still a really great intention that God has for us. Maintaining that rhythm of working from a place of rest, as opposed to resting because we've overworked. But what's the motivation? Jesus is saying, hey, this isn't just a matter of obedience, of ticking boxes. This comes out of friendship with God. Those disciples are walking with me in a field. We've got more important things to worry about than a whole set of rules. the Sabbath is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be rejuvenating, it's supposed to be a life-giving time when we reconnect with ourselves and with God and with each other. I know elsewhere in the Gospels, Jesus was asked another time for kind of what's the right way for a Jew to behave and to please God. In John 6, they say to him, what must we do to perform the works of God? And Jesus replies, the work of God is this, to believe in the one he sent. It's as simple as that, folks. And so as you set about, I encourage us, let's find that Sabbath rhythm. Let's take it seriously, because it's actually really good for all of us to take rests and to take rejuvenating times in God's presence. But let's not see it as legalism. It's not another Christian thing that you and I need to do to please God. It's there for our own good. The Sabbath is a gift from God. It's a blessing from God. And so let's come close to him. And as Jesus said elsewhere, as you lay your distractions down and come close to him, you will find rest for your souls. So I bless you to find rest for your soul today.